Hello and welcome to the very first episode of PlayEDgaming Podcast. My name is Simon and I am going to be going through everything retro gaming, pure nostalgia, and we're talking about mental health all the way through these episodes of the podcast. So please stay tuned. Let's get it going. Bosh. Hi and welcome to the first episode of the PlayEDgaming Podcast. My name is Simon, or some of you might know me as Ed. There is a reason for this, and we will go into that in a little bit detail later on. But first things first, let's get into what this podcast is going to be all about. So, first of all, the name gives it away. It's going to be about gaming. It's going to be about retro gaming, nostalgia, and as said in the introduction, it's going to be about mental health. And what the first thing I'm going to be focusing on, first time doing a podcast, so it's a little bit tricky at times when you're recovering from a knee operation. So the first thing I'm going to do is who I am and what I actually do. So as said before, my name's Simon. This is a part-time job for me as a reseller. I've been doing this for just over a year now, and this has led me to doing gaming markets, whatnot shows, selling on eBay, selling on Vinted, and there's various other platforms like Facebook Marketplace and everything like that. But what got me into it is I saw an advert for whatnot and was watching a couple of streams and just thought, you know what, this looks like a bit of fun. So the first thing I did was I went and bought a load of stock just from a Facebook Marketplace pickup and thought, you know what, I'm just going to try it. And then since then, it's been a roller coaster. It's been very up and down. Some days it's been better than others. And then it's kind of progressed into actually building up a following. And I've got a YouTube channel, as well as deciding, you know what, I'm going to start this podcast. Since doing whatnot, I've made plenty of new, I would like to say friends, but some of them would probably say different. Now, there's a few people that I've grown a bit closer to over the last year and a half. And yeah, it's just built up a great community that we're part of. And to be honest, yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Some of them are absolute dickheads, to be fair. But like I say, I wouldn't have it any other way. And they actually keep the community going, and it's fantastic to be a part of. And also, away from reselling, I am a full-time teacher. So this is started off as a hobby, and then it's kind of progressed into quite a big part of my life, as well as my shed. As people know, I've got a shed that I store all of my stuff, and I started off doing streams in the shed. As another friend of mine, Simon, would say, Ed is in the shed streaming live. So that's how it's kind of come about. And since doing these shows in the shed, I've got over 1,000 followers on whatnot, and also then gained a few hundred followers on Instagram. And I'm pushing to get a few more subscribers on YouTube as well. This podcast will be available on YouTube, Spotify, and I will post a link all over my socials, so keep an eye out for that. So as I said, the first thing that got me into reselling was watching a whatnot stream, and then I bought that massive bundle and did it from a spare room in the house. Had a few bits of interest, like a GameCube console, some GameCube games, and then since then, actually, the people that bought from me from the very first show, we're actually part of a WhatsApp group together now, so it's really, really progressed. And that's kind of where it all started, and I thought, actually, I quite enjoy this. I was going around looking on Facebook, didn't really know much about it at the time, to be honest, and then kind of opened my eyes to buying things on whatnot, looking at things on eBay, and that's kind of how it all started. And then it's just spiraled into bigger things and building up connections, and then getting more recognized around my local community and having people give me things. I buy things off of people. And recently I have had quite a big challenge, which has been, there's so many resellers near me, or people that just overpriced things. And that's the biggest issue for me around where I live, which is in Margate, which some people will know because of obviously Del Boy and all of that. But you know, there seems to be quite a bit of competition down this way, and how I've come about changing that is I've kind of offered more more kind of not money, but of a personal experience when I go and pick these items up. So it's not just, oh, here's your money, take it, I'll have that, thank you, and then I leave. I have a chat with them, and that's just kind of how it's all worked. And that's just kind of how I do business anyway. I quite like talking to people, even though I am doing this podcast on my own at the moment. But that will change. Keep an eye out for the next few episodes, because I'm aiming to get a few guests in as well. And these guests will be fellow resellers, as well as people that are mental health advocates, and also collectors, and just average people that like to play video games. So that's where it's going to go. And the business today is, well, it's a slow business at the moment. It's still in the early stages, because, as I say, I've only been doing this a year. And what makes it interesting is, well, you get to see my face. When you deal with me, you get to see my face, and whether that be on whatnot, whether that be in person at a gaming market or not. And to be honest, it might not be the prettiest of things, but it is definitely the highlight of my day, seeing you guys. Wee, as cheesy as that sounds, but actually I like dealing with people, so that's quite good. And a little bit more about myself as a child. Growing up, I had Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, PS1, PS2, and they're kind of my consoles that I always go to. If I have any gaming time, which I do most evenings, try and get some in, but I tend to go for kind of the retro stuff, or something like the Resident Evils, because I just find them amazing. Like, one of my favourite games that I've played recently is the Resident Evil Biohazard. Oh my gosh, I was hooked. I was hooked so much, and it's such a good game. If you guys have never played it, I recommend it. It is on PS4. It is very good. And also then I have completed The Last of Us Part 1 and 2. That was also very, very good. I just thought the storyline was amazing. I'm not going to ruin it in case people haven't played it or are watching the show. I haven't watched the show yet, but I will aim to be watching that soon. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it. So I'm quite interested as to putting in the comments what your favourite game was when you was growing up, what your favourite title is that you're playing at the moment, and your favourite console that you've ever played as well. So that'd be really, really helpful to know. Cheers, guys. Keep involved. That's what I want. Another thing I'd like to raise through doing this reselling is, as I've said, I'm going to be talking about mental health. And since being part of this community of gamers, we've built up good relationships, and we have lost a couple of people along the way, which was a massive hit for the community. And I helped, I think, in my own personal opinion, I did a few whatnot streams where I just sit there and you just have a chat. It's a safe place to open up, chat, and just say your worries or anything like that. So that's where I am, and I'm a massive believer in talking about it rather than bottling it up, because I am the worst at it. I always bottle things up rather than actually talking to people about things. And as we said previously in our community, that the saying "it's okay to not be okay" was definitely one that stood out for me. And yeah, since doing these streams, and I did a charity stream as well, so since doing these streams, I feel like I've really helped or supported and welcomed in open chats to build up confidence in talking about things that people are struggling with. So that's kind of where we're going to be going with this as well, because reselling has really helped me. I was having a tricky time before I started the reselling, and this took my mind away from it, made my head reset, and really gave me a focus rather than just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. That was kind of what it was. Whereas now it's, right, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this, all to keep my mind active. And my family enjoy it. My boy and our foster kid, he absolutely loves coming to a boot sale with me. However, they're not on at the moment, at the time of this recording. So yeah, it's just not great. But yeah, they love going around bargain hunting. They go, look, we found some games. They want to help me with the streams. They help set up. Yeah, it's great. It's a really, really good thing. So beneficial. And they always say, oh, why have you got another parcel? Well, I always do. They just come in. I just see something, I like it, I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to try and spin it for a profit. Don't always. That's not what it's all about. I don't always make a profit. Some items have been sat there for ages, and you're like, right, let's just clear it out. So let's just get rid of it. So you do it at a really nice price for people. So that's where I am as well. This is as I said, the first episode, and this was just kind of an introduction one. And then once we get going, there'll be more chats, discussions, and everything like that. So please stay tuned. Please check out my socials. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and check me out on YouTube as well. So type in PlayEDgaming. You'll find me. You'll see my logo because it is part of this video / audio clip. If you're listening audially, then just type in Play Gaming and you must know who I am because you're listening to it. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and do everything you can and leave a review. I appreciate every single one of you listening to this. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much for joining. Speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Are you ready?